Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for this Saturday morning, the 9th day of May. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. And I want to just take time to officially say Happy Mother's Day to Miss Mary Authors, my mother. Yeah, my mommy. Well, big her up this morning. Big up yourself, Miss Authors. No people call her Auntie Mary. Some people call her nurse. Well, if I name them call my mother. But that's the lady who really framed this mania. You know? Taught me a lot of things. Grew me up as a single mother. And I want to thank her and thank the Lord Jesus Christ for her, for keeping her in good health. Thank you, Jesus. And we ask that you continue to bless her and keep her. Make your face shine upon her and be grateful unto her. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of my children. Yeah, man. All of them. No. But I get into that and I leave that alone. Yes, sir. This is a morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Portland Spice TV. My name is Colin Bell, and this is the Colin Bell Show. We do it every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until 11. Sunday morning, we do a show called Talk Jamaica. There won't be a show this Sunday, neither in the morning or in the evening. This Sunday is a full Sunday, Mother's Day. Yeah? So, some people would say, but you should have do a show. Well, we're not doing a show this Mother's Day. But what I think we're going to do to make up for Sunday, Monday morning at 7 o'clock, we're going to bring you Talk Jamaica. Trying something new. Let's see how many of you will join us Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Ralston Iman, Ed Boy, big show. Monday morning we're going to do it. But as you can see on your screen, that this morning we're going to be having the Queen. Yeah. Dr. Angela Brown Burke will grace us with her presence at about 9:30. We're going to be talking to her, you know, about a number of things, because you have to also remember that Dr. Brown Burke is also the chairman of the People's National Party. She's also a member of Parliament, and she's the spokesperson, the shadow minister, we like to refer, on social protection and social transformation. So, you're talking about social protection and social transformation. We're going to be talking to her a little bit as well about the West. Now, it's 110 I hear him say. I never hear him say 120. And I want to say good morning to all the people in the chat room. I'm going to be working out something that we can have a little more focus on the chat room, because the chat room is very active. AJ, good morning. Yvonne, morning. Yeah, man. Miss Walker, good morning. Dawn, Morris, morning. Claudette, morning. Dorothy, hey. If you want, Dorothy, me not stop you. Yes, I. Chris, morning. Morning, Auntie Lane. Nordy, where you there? You late for class? Sonia, good morning. Share up the live. Invite the world. Invite the world. Because she's the hottest lady out there right now. Dr. Angela Brown Burke. Took up the mace in the parliament. And I am going to say to her this morning, I think you should have did run out the door with you and fling away it backside. Stop the sitting. Who's so early, man? I must never this, you know. As the light. Let me see if I never. Nobody can beat Neville. No. No, somebody but me that call. Hey, Drunkro. Drunkro.
What?
Yep, never hear that call before, but I don't know me never hear the phone.
Boy, if I win, me I try call you to get I can't get through.
Me see you put a message in the chat room say how long you try to get through and can't get through the other day.
All right, listen to me.
Yes.
Me listen upon O'Brien program. I went day before yesterday or yesterday.
No, man, it was Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
Yes.
All right. I realized that I send you a message in our WhatsApp. I realized that the message there you never open it.
Oh.
So I beg you a favor. Listen to me. Play the message. I don't want you to listen. Just play. Just play.
And it
just
clean.
play for the listeners then hear it.
It clean and everything, no bad word, no in it. No.
Yeah, man, it clean, man. It's a news report, man.
It's a news report. From
yeah, if I can show you all government act.
How long it is?
You remember, I think about 3 minutes or so.
Which media house which media house it come from?
It's a overseas media house, man. American news media.
I'm going to play it Monday morning. I don't know if I can play it this morning because the program tight this morning.
All right, my boss.
But we see, no man, but we play it Monday morning. We're going to be on Monday morning at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 2 hours. So I'll play it.
All right.
Bless up, my brother.
Yeah, my respect.
Respect and thanks. Why, Marshy, why you calling me on this phone, Marshy? Why you calling me on this phone? All right, but that phone don't hook up to the system. So when you call upon that phone, you now get to go on here. Neville, morning. Mr. Edwards, good morning, sir.
Morning, my brother. Morning, and your followers and listeners. How you do?
Me not have followers. Me have family.
I want to join you since you won't be having a program tomorrow to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yes.
And I want to single out your mommy and also telling her thanks to supporting the Labour Party over the years.
My mother, hey man, nobody come with your garbage this morning. Who tell us that my mother support Labour Party? My mother, let me tell you something about my mother. Me are her firstborn. And she like tell people say she get 23 stitches in her belly for me. Anything when me do, any side when me depend, that the side of my mother depend. And right now, because of what? Because of the political victimization that I have faced and facing from the Jamaica Labour Party, my mother don't want to hear nothing about Labour right. Because if you hurt Ian, you hurt up our 23 stitches. So you stay there.
And Colin, and sad news.
What
the Labour Party, which have been governing this country so good over the years, call it 10 years, have lost 2 of his members.
Yeah, Kukudu dead for you.
Eh?
Kukudu dead for you?
Yeah, man, he died yesterday.
He was sick?
Them say him have a bad cancer there. I saw something in the Observer.
Oh.
In the Observer. And why the Labour Party is mourning at this moment.
Hey, you know, labor right, say labor right wicked and dangerous. Me I go tell you
You
what
hear
labor.
that, no?
Hold on. Listen to what me I say. Me I tell you what labor right do me. Me keep a jerk festival, right? And two of the main artists on the jerk festival, Beanie Man and Kukudu. Say the labor right then say a PNP festival me keep because me care Beanie Man. And then no pay Kukudu no mind where Kukudu tear down the place in the day,
Well, Colin.
No, but me just show you that nephew. For sure you say, see me not do personal politics, me do governance. Yeah?
All right. Make us spend a minute here. I am not going to dispute that, but Colin, PNP do the same thing to Colin. GLP have those type of supporters.
Hey.
PNP have those type of supporters, Colin. If you follow,
me now go say no.
Colin, if you follow your chat room and see some words of some PNP call, Dr. Andrew Michael Olness in the chat room and Labour and Darren Vaz.
Then you
and
never
I
say,
sure know
then PNP, GLP did put on drunk up on Mama P head,
All right.
From Mama P body,
And then,
But you know what me I said to your nephew? You know what me I said to you? The hierarchy of the parties must be able to do better and separate themselves and show difference. When you have a senator referring to a citizen as chink, fleas, and flies, yeah? That man not supposed to be in that. Why Labour right love disrespect people so? You never hear Marlon Morgan disrespect me and say Warmington was right in calling the chink, fleas, and flies. But hold on. Let me just say one thing before I let you come in. Marlon Morgan saying glad me remember the words. And let me just say to Marlon Morgan and the GLP. I know the man where defecate a road, remember it. And the man where step in it. So I stepped into the defecation because Warmington is defecation. I step in it. So I now go forget because my feet get dirty mixing up with those crony people. So I now forgot the chink, fleas, and flies that he referred to me at. And now Marlon Morgan doubled down and said Warmington was right. But I have told all my listeners and subscribers and viewers and family here that every member of the hierarchy of the GLP endorse the things that Warmington does whenever he do them. Go ahead, nephew.
Mr. Bell, make me as a born Labour man apologize to you, sir.
No, I don't need your apology. Me and your friend. So I don't want an apology from my friend. Then.
Yes. And that is the ugly side of the Labour Party. But make I share a good side of the Labour Party with you, which I know you would agree with me. That years gone by in Portland, the people in Portland have a serious problem where internet service is concerned, especially in East Portland, in the hill, like all of Ginger Hill when you go up there. So, and since Darren Vaz become the minister, the parish of Portland have a very good internet service now and is doing well. Even your program.
Let me ask you this. What Darren Vaz do about the internet service of Portland?
Internet service in Portland has significantly improved.
What did Darren Vaz do about it? What Darren Vaz do?
As the minister, he play a special attention.
Live from the pit of hell, he not play no role. What internet service we are having in Jamaica must be attributed to Philip, Paulwell, and PJ Patterson. Don't come here with your garbage this morning and get me hungry upon you. Darrell Vaz have nothing. Zero. All the thing of them, the internet, them what them are grown up put up in a town square. You know who implement that, brother? Who started that? Who build the tax for that? The universal whatever? Philip Paulwell. Where Darrell Vaz,
Mr.
man?
Bell,
Hey, nephew,
Mr.
nephew,
Bell.
nephew, not tell a lie, man. Don't be a
Mr.
Keith
Bell,
Duncan.
Mr. Bell,
Because we're
Mr.
going
Bell.
to deal with Keith Duncan this morning about him. Epoch of him. Keith Duncan,
Mr.
you too
Bell.
lie, you barely got to meet them. Why labor rights a lie, man?
Mr. Bell, I am not saying that the idea is not from Mr. Paul, but I'm not disputing that.
So
the
what did
idea
Darrell
is
Vaz
put-
do? What did he
Make I
do?
finish, please. Make I finish my point. I am not saying that the idea in putting free internet in town centers wasn't the idea of Paul. I'm not disputing that.
It's not just
I
the
am
idea.
telling-
It wasn't just the idea. Philip Powell actually started it. The money,
Yes,
he
yes,
set up the
yes.
tax
But-
system for the money. So it's just that when the GLP won the election, they continued.
Mr. Bell, I am not asking you. I am putting it to you that the improvement with internet service in the parish of Portland and free internet in certain communities in the parish of Portland have all happened to Darrell Vaz become Minister
No.
of Technology and Information.
And I will not agree with that.
Okay, sir, we talk again.
Because
okay,
the good
sir.
internet that we are now having, Flow start run fiber.
I am no he's a very biased man politically, but there's certain things
Truth.
that can't hide it from
Truth,
people.
we talk truth. Darrell Vaz
No.
continue what Philip Paul well left.
I'm not disputing that.
Right.
I am not disputing that.
So me
But
not,
I am putting it to you, sir, that during the by-election in East Portland, the internet service was one of the worst. And Darrell Vaz as minister under the Jamaica Labour Party,
Darrell Vaz not do
internet
nothing.
service have
Flow
improved in
step up
Portland.
then
And that is
game.
why your program,
Flow
Your
step up then
program
game
can-
because people were stealing the copper. And Flow decided to run fiber optics around Portland. Most of Portland now have fiber. Now nothing to do with Darrell. Flow step up then game. Good
the
morning.
greatest thing-
Good morning, nephew.
Okay, sir.
Tell Darrell
Okay.
Vaz to carry the receipt them for the bus, then come show away. We want to see the receipt them. But we will, if him not want to show away, the auditor general will get them. Thank you. Anybody heard Keith Duncan yesterday? Saying Epoch was his idea? What a liar fellow. Hold on it, boy. Hold on there. Make us play this liar man here. Hold on.
In a position of somewhat a conflict of interest in this discussion because Jamrock is model and Epoch, the Economic Program Oversight Committee. Epoch was a social consensus body that I advocated for and worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips, and I will tell you how this happened, Ramon, because you need to know the facts, my brethren. Okay? We and Ramon and Senator Ferguson, Small Ferguson and I, Senator Small Ferguson and I work very closely together. Right now. But he was their own because he was their own at the time. And I myself and another CEO of another financial sector company sat down with Dr. Peter Phillips, and I said to Dr. Phillips, we are not signing that debt exchange agreement unless we get an oversight body. That is how Epoch came about. Okay? And I worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips. We agreed on who would sit on this, who would sit on this body. Dr. Peter Phillips, we agreed on the unions, we agreed on agriculture, we agreed on small business, we agreed on the financial sector, we agreed on, that's agriculture, and small business, the unions. We agreed that would be the representation on Epoch, Dr. Peter Phillips and I. I went to my office and I wrote the terms of reference with Mike Hilton and Mark Harrison, and Epoch was signed off the following morning. Okay? We're gonna get to it. Right? So Epoch was not conceptualized by the PNP. The financial sector came to the table. You did.
So I took it upon myself this morning and I called the big man. The big man said, I know so it go. The big man said it no go so. In fact, the big man said came out of the trade unions. Out of the trade unions. And he mentioned a name to me. Eileen Davis White. Said to him that they want guarantee that the economy would not be going back to where they are getting it from. Not Keith Duncan. In fact, my information is that Keith Duncan barely go to meetings in the start. I remember Keith Duncan became chairman when the GLP came in power. You know? But we're going to talk to Raleigh later and hear more about this. Claiming people roses. Ed boy, good morning.
Morning to you, Brother Colin, and to your listener.
Well, go on, brother.
Don't listen to revisionists, you know. The JLP is specializing in revising history and putting it the way they want to put it. But I am not surprised by the pirate, by Pirate Duncan.
That's why,
yes?
hold on, you remember the Prime Minister said history is not for who live it, it's who reading it.
Yes, and so they're trying to rewrite it so you can read it.
Yes.
But we will not read that which we know to be not true. Then we would be party to a lie, and we can't be party to a lie. But I want to say to my good friend nephew, yes, and a good St. Mary man, that nephew, I want to ask you, if the government is doing a road in your area there in Richmond, and they inadvertently dig up the road, and the utility company come in and say, no, some of the systems we have here, they're old. Seeing that you have started to dug up the road, why not allow us now to run new fiber optic cables so we can actually improve the connectivity? Does that have anything to do with the minister?
Listen.
You hear the question I asked, Colin?
Yes.
Because there was no policy in place by Minister Vaz. As a matter of fact, I want to remind people, whilst I was there in Jamaica, I was oftentimes down in Buff Bay, coming Fred. So I was a lot of the times I was in Buff Bay near the minister's office that you have the universal access fund site. Sitting across his office waiting for him, but he never come. Yeah? And whilst I was there in Buff Bay, I did in fact say that the access to internet in Buff Bay, for some reason, it was working. It might be one of the few places in the parish of Portland that it actually works. And you know, it dawned upon me that the minister maybe set it up because they're close to him constituency office.
Exactly.
So that's the only one I see functioning, you know. When I go further into East Portland, I don't see none working. A matter of fact, the audit report, and Philip Powell mentioned it in his presentation, most of these sites are not working. So the sign is up. The infrastructure is there, but they're not working.
I have never tried using one of them because I don't like public internet. I am afraid of open internet in the public.
Open networks.
Yes,
because anything can happen.
Yes.
But you know, Colin, we're not going to major in the minor this morning with nephew. Because apparently it is clear to me that Darrell Vaz is trying to look good name again in Portland when he has neglected basic infrastructure in his own constituency and want to come talk about improvement. But you know, Colin, I looked on something yesterday as I go, and I know this really would have been a conversation with you and Raleigh. But something is happening, and I don't think that the Jamaican government is alert to what is happening. Do you know, it is projected that by July of this year, the Americans will be out of gasoline.
The Americans? And,
yes.
And Trump said they have so much oil. Trump said we have a lot of oil.
Yeah, but Colin, a lot of people don't know. The Americans have what they have is light, crude, Bonnie Light. Yes?
Yeah.
Their refinery were designed because that's how they designed the refinery. You know, it was designed to process Venezuela and every crude. Yes,
Yeah.
that's how their systems were structured for. So they can't really do nothing with what they have. So in fact, the economist is predicting, and these are people who are big in the oil and gas industry, that come by July, Europe and the United States, and with a lesser extent of Canada, but they will be reaching the bottom of the barrel in terms of what they have in their storage capacity.
So maybe America just need to start drill. Drill, baby, drill.
Well, drill, baby, drill. I tell you what is the problem with drill, baby, drill. They will have to build, baby, build, because they will have to build a refinery which is specific to process burning like crude. These refineries, remember, you know, Colin, people need to understand. A refinery is not something you just build and it process everything. The specifications at those refineries, they deal with specific grade of gasoline, where they're referring to EPN 510 PM, which just simply means it's a volume of gas with per certain there's the terminology that they use, which can process that certain gas. You can't process avgas in a gasoline facility, because avgas is way much lighter.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we are going to get into trouble, because if the Americans are going to be out of fuel in July, I am asking the question, when will we be out? Have we started to purchase more fuel and improve our capacity, our storage capacity, so that if this issue doesn't resolve itself in the Middle East, we at least have storage that can last us for at least 3 months, which should be international standard.
I want to tell you something, Ed boy. Segue a little bit from that. Is America getting ready to take over Cuba?
Let me tell you something. To take over where? They're talking tough.
Well,
I can tell you this as we speak. They had a meeting in Bastille, St. Kitts. Yes? They invited then the Foreign Affairs Minister of Cuba, Bruno, and they invited Raul Castro's son to come and meet with Rubio. That was one of the meetings that was not really publicized. In the meeting, I am told that they proposed that Cuba should quickly move to a full democratic system. The Cubans made it clear that there are 3 things that is non-negotiable in the negotiation. 1, they will not be changing their structure of government. 2, they will not be adjusting until America admits that they have created an economic hit on the country and allow them to access the international market. So this noise about invading Cuba, I keep on saying it and I will say it again.
Let me
so
tell
that
you
those
something.
at the US embassy who will listen you will hear that any attack on Cuba, any attempt to invade Cuba, will only further create a regional war, which will in turn affect the people of South Florida. Don't for 1 minute think that the Cubans are going to sit down and play and take the licks. They're not going. Cuba is not Venezuela.
Let me tell you something. An aircraft carrier is going to be in Kingston pretty soon. What is the purpose for that?
You're referring to an American aircraft carrier?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, Colin,
and battleships come with that. So it's a whole fleet.
No, I've been telling this, I've been saying this, and people been saying I'm a propagandist. I've asked the question before, did we authorize any American naval vessels to be docked out on what we now call the controversial Goat Islands? I've asked the question, nobody can answer it. But let me tell you, the Americans are playing a game, and they are not going to win it. He's going into his midterm. He just lost the Iranian war, and so he's attempting to see if he can go into Cuba and take over Cuba to say that, we conquer something now. Yeah, any victory is a victory. So he's looking for a victory, and he's not going to get it from Cuba.
My information is that a fleet is heading to Jamaica. with a aircraft
my-
carrier with maybe over 100 fighter jets on it, battleships, and they will be in Kingston within the next 35 days.
Well, here what happened. I am urging the Jamaican government, do not pull yourself in this, because the very first thing the Cubans will hit is your electrical grid system.
But
anybody
Ed
that
boy,
participates-
Ed boy, is Jamaica in a position to deny the America's request?
They are.
How?
They
so?
are, Colin. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. If Grenada, a very smaller country than Jamaica, who is actually punching above its weight, could say, if you want to set up your satellite base here, we will have to go and speak to our people and ask our people if they're comfortable with it. Can you allow us to go to our people to have them? You have to be strategic, you know, Colin. You know, deny the request, you know.
But
you're
we don't have that kind of government. Doctor, when name Dr. Deacon
Mitchell, I mean Deacon Mitchell, right?
Dr. Deacon Mitchell is a slick young man, bright, intelligent, listen to advice. One of the problems with our prime minister, I don't think he listens to advice. Why would the government, why would Andrew Holness and the government be appealing the court ruling on the Dry Harbor Mountain mining? Why?
I'm glad because, Colin, I have never said this, but when the Dry Harbor Mountain situation came up, do you know that I have some facts, some undeniable facts that the former Minister of Mining from St. Mary cannot deny? The Dry Harbor Mountain project was in fact conceived under Minister Montague when he was Minister of Mining. Go back and look, yeah? And when he took up somebody from the airport at Ian Fleming and put her to be seconded at the Bauxite Institute of Jamaica, right? Knowing that this individual's spouse is a financier for the Dry Harbor Mountain project. So let me tell you why they're pushing so hard for that Dry Harbor Mountain project. That Dry Harbor Mountain project involves at least 3 sitting member of parliament, St. Anne and St. Mary.
Hey!
Yes?
How on the land them do? How on the land them? How on the land?
The land is held by Forestry and the National Conservation Authority. That is why
no, man.
Andrew.
No. There's private people who own some of the land, bro.
Yes, there is, Colin, but the bulk of it,
can you work out a VB?
But let me tell you, if you go look up, and I ask anybody and your listeners, because I don't want to give away everything, go look up the Dry Harbor Mountain project, and you'll see they have a company that manages it that's in the United States. When you go look and dig deeper, you see a director by the name of Mas Salaman. Does that name sound familiar?
Yes.
It's a woman. Yeah?
Mas Salaman.
And that woman's profession is a hairdresser. So how comes an hairdresser is in charge of a company that, you know, Colin, I'm going to behave myself this morning. Yeah? There's a lot that we know about this Dry Harbor project, and we are not making much noise about it.
But if the court come out and make a ruling, and before the court's ruling, our technical people said this is not good for the environment, why are you appealing it? Is what's up the goal? Hey! Why, Mr. Prime Minister, are you appealing the court ruling? Ed boy? We lose Ed boy.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm saying, Colin, in 2020, you know, the elections of 2020, remember that this project Also, and I'm asking a question, did it finance the elections in Northwest St. Ann, Northeast St. Ann, and in Western St. Mary? If the answer is in the affirmative, then totally we understand why it is being pushed. Because the thank you was given already.
Yeah.
So they have to push it.
Or a
and you realize how
commitment was made.
Yes, and you realize how
That boy keep dropping off. Chris Campbell, morning. Morning, Paulette. Dawn,
I'm
good
saying
morning.
one of the persons
Yes.
who benefited was a minister of mining. One of the ones who benefited was sitting in the same office that presided over forestry and presided over NEPA.
Oh, yeah, boy. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. Hey,
Anyway,
boy.
Colin, let me not start up the program so early. I know you have a long list today.
Yes.
So let me heed and allow somebody else to get a chance.
Yeah, because we're waiting to be joined by the chairman of the People's National Party, Dr. Angela Brown Burke, will be joining us any minute now. And, you know, there's a whole heap of things to talk to her about. Whole heap of things. Marshy. Morning, Mr. Marsh.
Colin,
Yes, sir.
morning. You were right, you know. One of them a pull one of the ship from up, so you know. The aircraft carrier.
Me say, an
It's a going on
aircraft
Cuban
carrier
water, but them a come at Jamaica first.
coming to Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me all have a name.
So,
All in name,
yes.
me know. Hey,
all right. So
But-
if I mean intimidation.
but I am wondering why. And that's why I'm worried again for
Intimidation.
Cuba. To intimidate who? Cuba.
Intimidation. But what make me really call you? And you correct me if me wrong, because you're more versatile on them thing and more I
Yes.
hear Charles Sinclair in the Senate yesterday saying that when the GLP proposed the flyover at 3 Mile,
Mhm.
and when they started,
When the
they talk
GLP
about money.
when the GLP proposed the flyover at 3 Mile,
All right then.
Hey!
All right.
Marsh, you're not here good, man. You're not here good.
Oh, God. And listen to me. When the man said the thing, you know, and listen who me say. Listen who me say, look. Pan Lambert, and Lambert look for him in the Senate. Listen who me say. Floyd Morris. What
Floyd-
me mouth.
And look for Lambert. Marshy.
Look for Lambert.
Marshy.
And Lambert look for him.
Marshy, I have the chairman of the
No.
People's National Party in the waiting room. I'm going to go to her and then I'll come back to you.
Yes.
Bless,
Yeah, man.
bless you.
Ladies before gentlemen. Ladies before gentlemen.
All right,
That-
Marshy,
is that
thank you.
serious man? Is that serious man? Should we take up the mic? So go on to her.
No, you see, we no get her no trouble, you know. If she put up her hand for talk, we are going to allow her to speak. So she won't take up the mic. Madam Chairman, good morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to your listeners and your viewers, wherever they may be.
Listeners and viewers, we are joined by Dr. Angela Brown Burke, chairman of the People's National Party, and she's also the Shadow Minister of Social Protection and Social Transformation. And Madam Chairman, MP for, please remind me of your constituency again.
For St. Andrew Southwestern.
St. Andrew Southwestern. Good morning and welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Thank you very much.
You are trending in mainstream and social media. I don't think nobody hotter than you right now. Everybody wants to talk to Dr. Angela Brown Burke. Dr. Brown Burke, the parliament is a place for cut and thrusts and strategies and all kind of overthrows and maneuver. You've been in the parliament quite some time now. Speak to us about what happened 2 Tuesdays ago.
Well, I think I'm going to tell you what happened 2 Tuesdays ago, and then I'm going to go back and put it in context, because
Yes.
2 Tuesdays ago, we were actually having the continuation of the discussion on the narrow bill. And as persons would know, the opposition, the PNP, has some serious problems in terms of the lack of oversight, the lack of accountability, the lack of transparency, and so on. In that debate, there were several times that I had put up my hand. Certainly, we all had a chance to talk in that after the first reading of the bill. Right? When we went to the clause by clause this review of the bill, a number of persons tried to talk. I was one of those who actually on 3 different occasions had my mic on, which is a request to speak, and I was ignored. For those, I figured, I mean, a lot of other persons spoke and they made some of the points I would have wanted to make. So I kind of allowed that to pass. And even at one point, I would have wanted to make another point, but I allowed it to pass. And then we were at another point, and I really wanted to make a contribution at that point. I turned my mic on, and the speaker from where I sat looked over, turned sideways to address the government benches, and I called out to her, just in case it was that she had not seen me, and I called out 5 times.
5 times.
5 times. And I mean, I wasn't rowdy, I wasn't loud, just, Madam Chair, Madam Chair, that kind of thing. And I was ignored. And she just moved on to the government benches for a vote to be taken on that particular clause. So, I by then, I had reached, I think, a boiling point. And so, yes, I got up and I interacted with the mace. I touched it, took it up, which is not allowed by the standing orders. And I want to say this clearly because I see some people saying that what I did was against the Constitution of Jamaica. And I want to be very clear that the Constitution of Jamaica is different from the standing orders that govern how we operate in Parliament. And I did that because this wasn't the first day that we were all complaining about it. Right? She had done that to the leader of opposition business, the leader of the opposition, and I think there have been many other members on the opposition benches that she would have done that too. And it's something that we have been talking about. I mean, ever since they put in that new mic system, we have seen it as a weaponization of her authority and in how she rules, because there are times when you put your hand up to speak, she wants to find out what you want to say, and she keeps your mic off while you're supposed to answer that question, while her mic is on. So everybody's hearing what she's asking. No one will hear what you say when you say it. And what she wants to be able to do is to have you say it so she can then approve or disapprove. I take very strongly to that kind of way of operating as speaker. The mic is there so that if you ask me what it is I want to say, I should be allowed to say that on mic. If having heard it, you believe it is inappropriate, or you believe it is off topic, or you believe it is just not appropriate, then you can rule and we take it from there. And so I did that. She first, I think, named me in a committee, which the chairman of the committee is not allowed to name me. It's done by the Speaker of the House. And the standing orders actually says that the chairman would then, having said what the issue is, would then revert to be going to Parliament, full session, and then what would follow. The first time it was done, actually, my government name, as people would say, Angela Burke, was not the name called. It was the constituency that was referred to, and the constituency was the wrong constituency. Right? So again, I didn't, yeah. And so we were there having a little discussion about, how to proceed, the fact that there are some things that are not being right and what is recorded would not be correct. Anyway, when we got back to Parliament, I turned on my mic at that point, attempting to say something.
I heard that.
Now, it could be that I'd wanted, since we were now back in session, to apologize. It could be that is what I would have wanted to do. She doesn't know, nobody knows. And I was denied an opportunity to say
I think she said, that's not how it goes, that's not how it works.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. And so, okay, we stopped for a minute again, and she proceeded to complete the action that she had intended to take, which was to name me and ask me to leave the parliament. Again, and I say to individuals, I am well aware that there are sanctions for going against the standing orders. And I am aware that by interacting with the mace, it means that there is a reaction to that, an appropriate reaction, which I have no difficulty with, none whatsoever. What followed though, and I see some people taking that on, but I see others pretending as if that is okay. I am expecting from the Speaker of the House a particular decorum, regardless of what the issues are. I'm expecting that the Speaker, in implementing a rule that exists and exercising an authority or power that she has, will do it in a particular way. Because at the end of the day, every single one of us are there. We are each there because some persons have voted for us and have sent us to Parliament to represent them. And so at the very least, common courtesy, mutual respect is what is demanded inside the House. Now, this is another issue because there are times when the Speaker speaks to the rest of the Parliament as if we are kids. And I should probably take that back because in modern times, we are saying we speak to our children with respect. We scold them, but we don't set the tone of disrespect in speaking with them, if you understand the point I'm making.
Yes.
Right? And so she has a habit of doing that. And we have made no secret of the fact that we believe it's inappropriate. It is inappropriate. And so what happened is, we didn't move right away. She then proceeded to suspend the sitting, having suspended me for the rest of that sitting. And Parliament broke, and we all left the chamber. And
Hold it right there, Madam Chairman. The Speaker of the House, when she named you, she said, outside, out. Did that offend you?
Of course it offended me. I wouldn't talk to my dog like that. Because if I wanted my dog to obey me, we have, it's a relationship I have with a dog that I love. That is part of my family. So I would not speak to a dog like that. I can think of no one that I would speak to like that and think it's appropriate. Absolutely no one. Certainly not an adult. Certainly not a colleague, a member of Parliament. Yes? And certainly not when I'm in a position of authority and understanding my role of example setting in terms of, in this role, how do I carry myself even under difficult circumstances while exercising my authority.
You thought about picking up the mace before you walked to it and pick it up? Was that something that you thought about and decide that you're going to interrupt the Parliament?
I tell you, I wasn't so sure what to do. And I'll use the opportunity, since you asked, to go back, because this Tuesday, the Speaker did say that I had done this before, that I got up in Parliament and I said, if you want me to behave like Virego, I'm going to behave like Virego.
Yes.
First of all, I did get up. What she said, I said, is not what I said. I don't call people liars. I mean, I'm going out of saying that. I will say that what she said was not true. It could be that she didn't hear well, but I'll tell you, what I got up and said was, is it that I am expected to behave like a Virego for my mic to be turned on? I then left and went back to my seat, right? Which in my mind was to say, I don't think I should be expected to behave like a Virego to get my mic turned on.
To get a chance
But
to
here
speak.
I am in the middle, signaling to you, say, I wanted to speak and you haven't been ignoring me. What's happening? And I then went back to my seat. But that also goes to show that this is not a one-time. This is something that has been happening over and over again. And you can talk to any member in the Parliament on our side, and they will tell you that. So
Comrade
the truth
Chairman,
is that I was upset about it. I felt aggrieved. I felt as if this had gone on for too long. And when would it stop?
I can't wait too long to tell you my disappointment. I don't know if you heard it before.
I've heard several disappointments from persons about your
Yes,
personal
me
opinion.
think you should have take up the mace, run out of the house and fling where the damn something. Stop the sitting. I mean, you started, Comrade Chairman, and me just wanted you to just take you up and just come out.
No, well, I'll be honest.
Before you respond,
Sure, go ahead, absolutely.
I went ahead and I Googled options to protest for parliamentarians
Yes.
in a Westminster style government in the Commonwealth.
Yes.
And I think it was third on the list is removing the mace.
It is. It is. It is. And
So
I
for
was well
those who
aware
were
of that.
saying that you commit the cardinal sin, how does that become a sin when it's a part of the process of protests in a parliament?
And it has become that. In fact, I'll go further. After the incident happened, I also Googled apologies to the House on the removal of the mace. And I think I might have found one other outside of the one for Edmund Bartlett, MP Edmund Bartlett. And I reflected on that. And then as I reflected on it, I realized, but the truth is that if you take an action as a sign of protest, you're not going to apologize for the protest.
No.
You might apologize for whatever ensues after that, if because of it, the parliament descended into chaos, if because of it, some other things. But the truth is, it is an act of protest. And that's how it should be regarded. It doesn't make it right.
A legitimate act of protest.
It is. In fact, there's a reason why all of our standing orders speak to that. Because they recognize, yes, that it could have been used, it has been used. And so provision is made for when that's done, what follows.
You said that those who have the power to punish can go ahead and punish. Explain that statement to us.
Well, to be honest, I have heard individuals, MPs and ministers, in their public utterances saying things like it's not over and it's not done, and they are demanding a full apology, and so on. I'm not sure what they are expecting. And so I just have to keep my mind open to say that they might be thinking of additional punishment. I don't think that they could give punishment for the actual removal of the mace, since they had determined what that was. But I mean, they are creative, so I'm waiting on that. I take nothing for granted. I'm just simply saying, because I know that what I did was contrary to the standing orders, and I'm not denying that. And I would hate for anyone, a youngster or even an adult, to believe that I am saying that we should just get up willy-nilly and not observe the rules. Yeah. When you break rules, there has to be a reason why you break it. And this argument of people talking about breaking the rules, Listen, I know that there were schools in which you could not wear afro at one point. Yes, it was breaking the rules that has allowed us to be able to go into a school, to go into a workplace with hair that looks like mine, with afro, with locks. It wasn't so long ago that these things were prohibited. So I remember those things. And so I want us to just bear in mind, yes, that something that is done in a moment that seems so outrageous becomes the beginning of change that we want to see. And I'm not suggesting anarchy by any means, but I am saying that responsible dissent, responsible protest is a part of who we are and is a part of how we engender change. And if there are consequences to what you do, then as long as they are within the rules and what persons would say reasonable, then I don't see how you fight that. And I'm not, you know, I'm not, I would want to see the end of the matter, because honestly, where we are and what I'd really like to see is that we take an opportunity to have a mature discussion across the aisle to see how we really operate in the parliament. It is true that often the banter is excessive, it is acrimonious, it is less than pleasant, less than decent, and the way the speaker handles the parliament needs to be looked at as well. So that's what I'm hoping we'll get to.
As it relates to the Mace, this is my final question on the whole Mace situation. Your colleagues on your side stand in defiance with you, and they wouldn't let the marshal get to even touch you. What was that about?
Honestly, I think that part of it was simply an understanding of where it was coming from. And so I think that that was a big part of it. And then as the speaker started as well, I think the way in which she was presenting herself became such an affront to every member on our side who was there. In fact, it should be an affront to all members of parliament, because regardless of what you have done as someone in authority, there must be another way in which you could exercise your authority than the way she did. Total lack of decorum, total disrespect. That anger made it seem as if it was not a professional act that was being, this wasn't just fulfilling duty, but this was something personal. You know, like when you're on the corner and a brawl breaks out. That's what it seemed like. And I don't believe that that would have been appropriate for Parliament either.
Let's talk about the speaker herself. In the first term, she was seconded by the opposition leader on government business to become speaker. And some people are also forgetting that in this term, the People's National Party, the opposition, basically come out against it vociferously, I would say. What can be done, if anything, at this point? Because the speaker basically said on Tuesday that she's not going to change and she's going to get more rigid.
So we acknowledge that choosing the speaker is the right of the governing party. Those are the rules, and we can't change that. We started, as you said, that first time seconding it because that is a tradition that we had. The governing party names the person they want to have, fine. We second and we join in that ceremonial taking the speaker up. Based on how the speaker acquitted herself, we were less than pleased. And therefore, the second time around, we didn't do that. And as you said, you're correct. We did object because we thought that her behavior was not fit. We thought that how she was ruling and her behavior in Parliament was less than stellar. And we made that clear. Now, there's very little more we can do outside of that. We can't move her. If she decides that she's going to continue in this behavior, it's Jamaicans who would have to judge her, you know. We would have to determine what our approach is in the Parliament when those aggressions are committed. At this point, I don't know what that would be, but I don't think that anyone should expect that we will sit in a Parliament day in, day out with a speaker who is just totally disrespectful and has no regard for her colleagues.
As chairman of the People's National Party, the opposition, if you are not being allowed or given the latitude to speak in the Parliament, what can the nation expect from the opposition? How will you get to address some of these situations that the speaker will basically not allow you to speak on in the Parliament?
Well, you know, it depends. I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. I have not made any grand plan about how we are going to proceed. And it's not just about me, it's about all of us. When there are issues, because bear in mind, these are not personal issues that we're talking about. You know, it's not to defend our person. It's not to defend something we want to do because we want to do it. It is to defend our right to represent the people who have sent us there. It is to defend our right to contribute to good laws that are being passed. So the discussions around benefits and and stuff that and changes that could be of benefit to the people in terms of the laws that are there. So I don't know. We would have to think about it. We'd have to give good thought to it. I know that at this point we are asking, how is it that we can have that conversation? Because also I don't think it is just about the speaker. I believe that there are two sides in the parliament, the opposition and the government. And I think that the government should also be interested in some fair play, even a farce of a fair play.
Should is the operative word there.
And I do say that. And I am sure that there are some members, because I do remember an incident, for example, when I asked her whether or not she was sitting in the right chair, because a chairman of a committee sits lower and the speaker of the house sits in the higher chair, and she basically dismissed it as if
but she did come down.
She has stuff, but she came down, and she came down because of intervention from the other side, right? And so I believe that there are persons there who would like to see the parliament run right. I don't think that this animosity helps anyone. I certainly am not looking forward to that. I'm hoping that we can find a way out of this kind of an impasse.
If you're just joining us and you're wondering who is this beautiful lady on the screen, she's the chairman of the People's National Party, Dr. Angela Brown Burke. She's the lady that lifted the mace in the parliament that caused the big controversy. But Dr. Brown Burke, let's talk about the NARA bill, because that is the bill that was being debated and was at committee stage when whatever happened. What are your major issues with the NARA bill?
I believe that how the NARA bill is constructed, the biggest thing for me really is around how the CEO is appointed and the relationships there, right? So named by the Prime Minister, reports to the Minister with no other mechanism for oversight or guidance or anything like that. So there's no real board. There's some talk of JAMROC, but JAMROC is not in the bill itself. And what that means is that you could say that JAMROC is anything. You don't know exactly what powers JAMROC could have. The other question around is the CEO and other members who would join NARA is that there is they're sworn, there's a secrecy and indemnity clause, which means that what is happening, what is taking place there, is a secret and should not be shared. Outside of that, however, we thought it would have been important because of just the magnitude of the bill, the dollars and cents that we're talking about, and the importance of the projects that we're talking about, that if there was, people would say, heaven forbid, anything going on that was underhand, that there could be some kind of a whistleblower protection. That is totally missing there. So we believe that there's a lack of accountability. Certainly there's no transparency. How works are defined in that bill, it is basically just wide open. It could be anything. From the looks of it, it doesn't even have to be anything that is related to hurricane damage. It could be any project that is deemed strategic or important or what have you. We thought that that was too broad and just too wide. Just a general lack of transparency and accountability. In fact, they made a few changes after we spoke about that one, which was to allow, I think, some reports to be made. But as we have seen with PAC, it is important to be able to have that call to Parliament, that interrogation, while work is still being done and not after it is done.
But why is the government against the CEO coming to Parliament? Like, for instance, the opposition leader mentioned the standing committee where all members of the parliament can get to question the CEO. Why do you think the government is against that?
I don't know. One of the points I made when I spoke against the bill is that I really have no trust and faith in the government at this point in terms of just their corrupt acts, how they have allowed things to slide.
Is that the reason why the speaker treated you the way she treated you? Because in your contribution in the debate, you spoke to a lot of the corruption. I think you just stopped short of mentioning the Prime Minister's statutory filing not certified.
Yes, no, absolutely. As well as when I look at things like the certification of construction, for example, and NARA now can overrule
were you
and
pointing?
override.
Were you insinuating something about the Speaker of the House when you said people were flagged for building?
Listen, I was referring to every single one of them whose name appeared on anything around that, and she is included. So I was not excluding her at all because her name was one of those called. And so when you see these transgressions where their names have been called, when you see how they have dealt with those, then it says to you that they are not serious in combating these kinds of acts. And therefore, when they bring a bill that is so wide, so open, with very few accountability mechanisms, you have to wonder what is the thought behind it and what to expect. And so that really was my issue with it. And I honestly believe that part of why she went off as she did was because I had named out a number of corrupt acts in which they were involved and said I didn't trust them to be able to have such broad sweeping powers and with no guardrails. And I mean, it still is my thought.
Like a lot of Jamaicans, so you believe this NARA bill is basically legislating corruption?
I really believe that it has the potential to do that. And that is one of my concerns. I know it is a concern of many others as well, without putting in place some mechanism that puts a halt on it, shines a light on it, so that you're able to question and to go in and get the information and not just ask questions.
You are the Shadow Minister on Social Protection and Social Transformation. Yesterday, Friday, was the 8th day of May, was the day that the Minister of Local Government said that all shelteries will be moved out of our schools. Was that done, and are you satisfied with what was done?
I gather it was done, by the way, but I'm not satisfied from what I've seen. Quite frankly, I start with the fact that I was very disappointed that the minister would not have continued working, I want to say privately, to find a solution. Because we all know that those who were left in these shelters are individuals who would have nowhere else to go or can't afford anywhere else to go. And so I would have expected that he would have worked a little harder to try and find a solution that made sense for them. The fact that they had that hard deadline to move, I don't think they have been satisfied. But certainly I think I saw MP Dwayne Vaz commenting that he had gone to look at the shelter, where they were moved to, and that he wasn't pleased with what he had seen. And since I haven't had a chance to visit, I have to take his word for it that it is less than adequate. And honestly, these are the things we would have wanted to see in the NARA bill. But there's nothing about housing, and that kind of destruction is probably the biggest challenge for so many Jamaicans post Melissa. And it is nowhere near, it is nowhere there. Nowhere.
So, Madam Chairman, the people in the West, mostly, but it's not just in the West. Let's not let people believe that it was only people in the West that got hit by Melissa. Right here in Portland, a lot of people got damaged. The roofs program gave 75, 200, and 500,000. 500,000 to somebody who has lost their house totally. What are your views on that output from the government?
Do you know when MP Dayton Campbell spoke of it, saying that 500,000 really can't rebuild a house, and that he would have thought that the government would have been looking at doing more. Most of the members on the government benches started almost screaming and saying that they are not required to rebuild the house totally and that kind of a thing. But there is a truth. While I was in Parliament, someone sent me a note from a 70-year-old man who had been working all his life. He had retired. He had a nice house that he was living in, comfortable, receiving a pension. I mean, it can't do all, but he was managing. And his cry was simply, he does not know what to do at this point, because at 70 years old, he has lost everything. He has to start again. He does not have the finances to be able to build a house anywhere near what he had. He doesn't have the resources to build a house at all. And $500,000 is not going to do it. And so the truth is that I believe that the government has missed the mark about the real need of the victims of Hurricane Melissa and what is required, not even to get them back to where they were, but just to get them to a point where they can reasonably stand even halfway and take the rest by themselves.
Jamaica is a signatory to, I think, 2 or 3 UN agreement that our people should have adequate shelter. What does that say to people who are saying that the government is not required to build back nobody else?
It's because, one, they have a house that they are living in, and at their core, they don't really care about anybody else. Because that's the only way I can see. Because even if you are living in a house and you're covered and you're okay and all your children are okay, you have put yourself in a position as leadership of the country to know that you have to consider everybody. Yes? When you go down, when you pass through the countryside, you see persons with a tarpaulin. They said over their house. But some don't even have a house over which the tarpaulin is. Some of them have literally 4 little posts that them cut up, and the tarpaulin is over that, and that is their house. So I think that government misses what is their responsibility and what they could do to ensure that it's easier for persons to build a little something that they could shelter in.
A question from the chat room, back to the NARA.
Yeah.
If the government passes the NARA bill, which we know they have the ability to do, it needs a simple majority in both houses of the parliament. If they pass it, will the PNP take them to court on aspects of this bill?
All of those are things that we're discussing in terms of options. So, and you are right, we believe, like you do, that they will pass it. So we are looking at what our options are to ensure that we continue to fight on behalf of Jamaican people.
The public at large, Comrade Chairman, from time to time criticizes the opposition, saying that the opposition is not vociferous enough in the parliament, we are not strident enough, and stuff like that. How do you play?
I know. Can I tell you, I know that Jamaicans want to see us fighting a little bit more. We do. I think sometimes you have to moderate, how we oppose. We oppose by gently stating. We oppose a little bit more vociferously, a little bit more vigorously. Damien is also taking the Minister of Education to court. So we have taken them before on the NIDS bill, on the SOE. So those are other ways in which we have done. I think when I hear people talk, I think they want to see us on the street demonstrating.
Some people are calling for that, Comrade Chairman.
No,
definitely.
That's what I'm saying. I know. I think that is what they want to see. And there will, I am sure, be times when we are going to do that. We haven't taken that off the table as part of the arsenal in how we make our points be heard. We're just exploring all options, and we are in the parliament, and so we have been trying to use the parliament as well to make the points. As you can see, sometimes we get nowhere with that because there is a majority, and they believe that because there's a majority, there's no reason to listen to the minority, which doesn't make sense because we're all there in the discussion to make sure we have better bills. And we have seen those few occasions, depending on who the minister has been, when they have listened and taken the advice that we have given, that it has been, better. And we have seen the cases we have taken to court that we were right. So we'll continue to advocate, and we'll continue to explore all avenues. And just to say to Jamaicans, we have taken nothing off the table in terms of what our options are for making the points that we want to make.
My final question to you, and then I'll give you an opportunity to basically speak to Jamaica and the world on whatever issue you want to speak to them. The court made a ruling last week before last, I think last week, as it relates to mining in the Dry Harbor Mountain with this whole Bengal agreement.
Yes.
It was a issue where NEPA and Forestry turned down the license, gave solid reasons from our technical people, and it was overturned by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, signed off on by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. The fact that the Prime Minister in the NARA bill have stepping orders to do exactly the same thing that he did that the court found unconstitutional, does that gives the opposition and civil society, because some people believe that it is the opposition alone is calling out for this bill to go to a joint select and have more safeguards. Does this give you stronger footing, and how will you use this information to really call the government to listen?
It does.
And to
it
do
does.
something.
It certainly strengthens our hand in terms of the points we were making. And it's clear that we were absolutely correct. And you're right. We are not the only ones doing it either. And we're not doing it. It's not that we came together and discussed it and said, okay, you said that, you said it. No. Looking at the bill, these were glaring gaps that we saw and that we thought needed fixing. So you're right. The stepping orders are problematic, which is a point we were making in Parliament. And the ruling in the Bengal case shows that the court agrees with us as well. In fact, a responsive government would have looked now to see how they tweak the stepping orders, right? So that it would then be in keeping with the ruling of the court. I have not seen or heard them saying anything around that, so we'll see. But certainly what that means is that we have to continue to be vigilant to ensure that our constitutional rights are not being abridged, to make sure that there's no overreach, no overstepping of the government in terms of activities like these. And so I think it's a really important case, and important for us to always keep it in mind and to always be vigilant and watchful.
I did say the last question, but based on this discussion, if the NARA bill is passed and the government does something like what they did in the Bengal issue, does the citizens have an opportunity to take it to court, or that is it because the NARA would have legislated that in law?
They would have, well, my thinking is, and I'm not a lawyer, mind you, but my thinking is that although NARA has legislated it, the fact that many of us were saying, but that is in contravention of these other areas, mean that there is a case to be argued. Also, the rights that is being protected is not just the action of the agencies. Remember, the agencies are acting in protection of some basic rights, right? So ecocide is a big thing these days in terms of climate change and, how we deal with Mother Earth, as some would want to say, and so on. And so there are some basic rights that are guaranteed and protection that we expect from a state. So when the state violates that, then it becomes a problem. And I believe that it will not prevent us from taking those matters to court.
What are your views on the government appealing this ruling?
Can I tell you, sometimes I wonder about who is advising the government, because sometimes there are some cases that I believe that for you to appeal those, says something about who you are as a government and your willingness and your commitment to defend some inalienable rights of the Jamaican people. Right? And this is one of those, because what I would have expected them to do is to go back to the drawing board and look at exactly what rights were abridged and to say, okay, how do we fix that? Yes, rather than going to court. In fact, if they lose, whoever takes it to court should pay the money and not the taxpayers for their legal fees.
You as parliamentarian, all parliamentarian took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of Jamaica. When you have a prime minister who have lost so many constitutional cases, what does that say of the leadership and the oath that was taken by the prime minister and the members of parliament on that side?
You know, that's an excellent question, because we are all sworn, yes, to uphold the law and the Constitution as the primary amongst those. The fact that the prime minister has been taken to court on so many constitutional issues, many of which he has actually lost, tells you that he has no respect for the Constitution. And I'm not even sure if he fully understands the constitutional rights that are enshrined there. Yeah. What I find disconcerting, though, is that his own members took him to court on a matter because it affected them. Yes.
And they won.
And they won. And I'm glad for that. But that should also be a signal to them to say, they should not just be looking out for themselves and to protect their constitutional rights, but they also have a duty to protect the constitutional rights of all Jamaicans. And so when they sit in the quarters that they do and the decisions are being made, they should make sure that the constitutional rights of all Jamaicans, that those rights are being protected.
Comrade Chairman,
you can't depend on the Prime Minister to do it.
Let me thank you for being with us this morning. Anything you want to add finally before you go?
Oh, you know, I was having an interesting discussion. I think May is Child Month. And I was having an interesting discussion yesterday, just talking about what has been happening to some of our children in the post-Melissa period and all of that. And the conversation I was having with this individual is really about what we're finding in our schools and elsewhere about our children. So I want us to use the month of May, Child Month, to really look out for our children, to really talk to them, you know, show them love, hug them, yeah. Let them understand who is there for them. Show them that you care. For family members, I want you to just pay some attention and listen to them. Some of them are going through so much trauma. Yeah. The issues that a lot of teachers have been saying to me, for example, is that sometimes we have children with disabilities. And sometimes, especially whether it is autism or anywhere on the spectrum, sometimes parents don't know what is causing. And, you know, in our culture, all you know is them not listen. And because them not listening is beating time. But spend some time getting to know your child, getting to understand, you know, when you see a particular behavior, what does that mean? If you are not sure, if you are concerned, reach out. You have your guidance counselors, you know, you have church and you have counselors in our churches and so on. Reach out to them. I'm just making an appeal to look out a little bit more deliberately for our children so that we can help them in this period. I was also looking at, listen, if you go by all of the warnings about food and food safety and what we have been eating, what we have been consuming, that is not good for us. I just want us to take care of us and, more importantly, take care of our children, right? Who are the foundation of who we will be in the next 10 to 15 years.
Chairman Angela Brown Burke, I want to thank you this morning for being with us and taking the time out to explain to my listeners and viewers all that has been happening in the Parliament and some of the things that we miss watching on TV and don't hear. And of course, we want to thank you for your service and ask you to continue to do the good work. Some people in the chat room, they are now referring to you as Warrior Queen.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for having me and giving me an opportunity to speak. And to all of your listeners, those in the chat room, and to all of those who have sent encouraging messages to me. I don't take this for granted. I am inspired by you, and I know exactly what it is you're feeling and asking of us. And we will hold that banner high. That comes what may, we will be protecting the rights of the Jamaican people. And we are here to pass good laws, and we are going to make sure that we do our part in doing that. Bless you all.
Comrade Chairman, thank you very much. It's a pleasure. That was Comrade MP, Chairman of the People's National Party, Dr. Angela Brown Burke. And I want to just thank her for gracing us with her presence. Yeah, man. I want to share up the live. Like up the live. We're going to chat to Ralston Iman next. Share up the live. Like up the live, my people. Like it up. Oh boy, that brother had called non-stop. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Bell, I have a suggestion. Am I able to say?
I'm not hearing you clearly. Maybe if you're on speaker, take us off speaker. If you have in a earbud, take out the... Listen, just call and just listen to me. If you have in a earbud, take out the earbud. Just talk directly in the phone. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm saying when the guest comes on the programs, we have not had a chance to speak to all of these persons or MPs and stuff. Is it possible to even allow 2 or 3 calls from the callers who might have concerning questions? Because I noticed you have cut that part out totally. And some questions we would want to ask, you are not asking those questions.
I do understand, but we'd have to clear that with the guests before we bring them on to do that.
Could ask them to allow us, as we voted for these people. So at least we need to have, some questions if they're able to answer it. It's not fair for them to just come on and you guys just have the conversation and we are left out on the cold.
All right. I make a commitment. Caller, you have to listen. Based on the caller, you have to listen to me. Based on the line you call on, when I am talking, the listeners won't be able to hear you. So I will have to tell you when to speak. So I'm giving you a commitment that I will start asking the guests to take, as you said, maybe 2 or 3 questions from our listeners. One of the problems is that sometimes, because we don't screen our calls, and then you have some people or some trolls who at times would want to disrespect our guests, and that will sometimes make the guests don't want to come on. But I will ask the question.
Oh, okay. But then you could do it in a way where prior to the guest coming on, then you have the callers call you so you'd know who exactly is calling to ask those questions, that you don't have those trolls.
All right. Well, as I say, on this program, we don't normally screen the calls. And sometimes when the calls come up, there's no name. It's just a number.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you for the call. 1-876-804-7072. We're going to join or link up with Ralston Iman in a little bit. But we're taking a few of your calls just before we get to Raleigh. Just before we go to Raleigh, we're taking a few of your calls. Conrad O'Brien, morning.
Hey, Colin Wagwan, morning. How are you doing?
Me there, man.
Yeah, man. Respect. Hold on.
No, yeah, man. Please, the instrument in the background. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I was saying that Morning to you and your listeners and viewers. Good interview from the chairman, with the chairman there of the People's National Party and MP Angela Brown Burke. And certainly, Colin, we were talking about the whole apology thing, and we said that she should not apologize, which she didn't really, because it was protest. What she did was and she put things in context there. To put things in context, and it's important. It's important. So, all in all, I just want to just ask this question, put this out there, Colin. The fact you mentioned about the American perching to be on the Jamaican side, can they be in Jamaica without authorization from our government?
What I can tell you is that
Can
the request has been made, and I think they have been granted permission to come into Kingston Harbor. That is my information.
So to deal with the question direct, I am saying, can they come in without authorization?
I don't think so.
So the answer to that is no. Therefore, if we see that happen and they're here in Jamaica, it means that the approval would have been granted.
And that is my information, that the approval is granted somewhere about the first week in June. The aircraft carrier will be here.
Will be here. The other thing, Colin, as I leave you, let's keep our eyes on this Bengal appeal. And certainly, let's also keep our eyes on NARA, because as the erudite trade unionist, senior trade unionist, and Senator Lambert Brown pointed out in the upper chamber yesterday, that certainly there seems to be a number of loopholes there that, it seems as if this bill may turn out be unconstitutional. So take it easy, brother. One love.
Conrad O'Brien, thanks for the call. 1-876-804-7072. This is the Colin Bell Show. Hello, caller. Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Take it easy, brother. One love. Conrad O'Brien, thanks for the call.
Caller, if you have an instrument in the background, if you're listening on your television or your Alexa or your phone, go ahead, caller.
Morning, sir.
Morning time.
Yeah. London call, sir. Good interview.
Thank you.
Some of the questions that I wanted to ask you, I didn't realize you were gonna have Miss Brownberg on, but some of the question was answered. I would love for them to be a bit robust, because we can't allow the Prime Minister to get away, because he's a rogue guy, a rogue Prime Minister who doesn't care, as she say, about the Constitution. He doesn't uphold the Constitution. But beside that, I want to ask a question. I just read the paper this morning because there was cocaine found on the shores in St. Thomas. Now, since 2022, 2023 coming up, there's loads of cocaine been found coming into Jamaica. And I can't remember hearing the Prime Minister come out, just as him and the security minister come out just like how they speak about the crime. I don't hear none of them come out and speak about the drugs that are coming into Jamaica. And guess what happened now? Jamaica now has become a place where you see what happened in Trump only wanted to get into Venezuela. So he did what he did. He did what he did to get to where he wants. But I'm saying Jamaica is a central point now for all of these cocaines and coming in. Is it that the PSOJ, people from the PSOJ and politicians as well, are involved in this trade?
That is a question, caller, I couldn't answer.
I'm not saying that you should answer the question, but it's a question needing answers, because for drugs to be coming into the island, all right. The man in the ghetto doesn't have a dollar in his pocket, but he has the link. But he doesn't have that mega amount of money to make those trade. And they've been used. So the root at this point, this thing is, we have the Prime Minister and the Minister of Security. They claim that they beef up the security in Jamaica, but we're still finding this amount of cocaine coming in. And the point is, none of them say a word in regards to it. So, I mean, silence means them would have said me in consent. So, guess what happened? I think, they're a part of it. I would believe that they're a part of it because he has never come out and said anything.
That is your
so
opinion.
that is my 2 little word.
All right.
That is my 2 words, sir.
Respect. Raleigh, morning. Raleigh. Hold on, I thought I had Raleigh here. We lost him. Let's see if we lost him. Hold on. Did we lose Raleigh? We don't lose him. He's still here. So no we merge. All right. Raleigh, morning. Raleigh? Why we're not hearing Raleigh? Morning, Raleigh. Yo. Yeah, Raleigh. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Hold on there. Yeah, Raleigh. Raleigh.
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you.
Oh, but we weren't hearing you, but we're hearing you now. Yeah, man, morning and welcome. Wagwan, everything good?
Yeah, man, we're good, man.
Yeah, man, we are hearing you loud and clear now, clean like a whistle. Raleigh, a whole heap of things. Let's start. Give us an update on the Jamaican financial space this week.
Yeah, well, the 2 big thing was the mopping up of liquidity. Them get 32 billion, them wanting only 22 billion, 33 billion. And the net international reserves tumbled by 454 million from 6.9 to 6.4 million.
What does that mean, Raleigh?
That means that we are running down the reserves, trying to keep the dollar overvalued as part of the inflation containment strategy, which is a bad strategy.
So what they're using the money? Explain to my listeners what they use that $400 million US to do.
To intervene in the foreign exchange markets in order to prop up the currency.
But
intervene means that they sell it to the foreign exchange markets.
But you were always saying that the dollar was revaluing without any production.
Yeah, man, I talked me yesterday, 158.74 yesterday.
So the dollar gained value yesterday without any ramping up of production on the island.
Yeah, man, with a widening trade deficit, yeah.
And this is what you call the voodoo economics?
Yeah, man.
So if this continues, what is going to happen?
You can't afford to lose reserves at the rate of almost $500 million per month. 12 months and the reserves gone if you continue with that.
So you're saying if we continue the way the Bank of Jamaica is doing, but doesn't the government have a role to play in it even though the bank is independent?
Well, they might tell us that the bank independent and the governor make him own decisions. So they're not going to interfere in that. But we know the phone call makes from behind the scenes. But officially, that's the governor's responsibility. So that's the governor's bad judgment.
So you are saying that the governor all by himself can deplete the NIR then?
Yeah, man. Because they leave that to him. They leave everything to do with reserves and monetary policy to him.
So
that's why I said the bank independent.
But how does that work, Raleigh, without the elected representatives having a say? What about policy direction? No policy direction comes from the cabinet?
No, them can't direct him officially. We know them all make calls from behind the scene, but officially, that's his responsibility because the bank is independent.
But isn't that dangerous, Raleigh, that the governor alone can just decide to deplete the NIR that the minister said is so important to us?
Well, that is something that both administrations agreed to under the IMF regime.
But whether or not they agree to it, Raleigh, aren't we seeing the dangers of it now? Doesn't this look dangerous?
No, that's why I must have a good governor. You can't change it because I'm agreed to that already. That's why I must make sure that the governor is competent.
You're saying that
So this is not a political thing. Peter Phillips agreed to it too. So yeah, you have to make sure that the governor on top of him work.
Talking about Peter Phillips, I want to play a clip of Keith Duncan in the Parliament, in the Senate yesterday. And Keith Duncan in the Senate yesterday says EPOC was ELAP. Let's play what he said.
Is model and EPOC, the Economic Program Oversight Committee. EPOC was a social consensus body that I advocated for and worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips, and I will tell you how this happened, Ramon, because you need to know the facts, my brethren. Okay? We and Ramon and Senator Ferguson, Small Ferguson and I, Senator Small Ferguson and I work very closely together. Right now. But he was their own because he was their own at the time. And I myself and another CEO of another financial sector company sat down with Dr. Peter Phillips, and I said to Dr. Phillips, we are not signing that debt exchange agreement unless we get an oversight body. That is how EPOC came about. Okay? And I worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips. We agreed on who would sit on this body. Dr. Peter Phillips, we agreed on the unions, we agreed on agriculture, we agreed on small business, we agreed on the financial sector, we agreed on that's agriculture and small business.
So you heard him rally?
Yeah, man, the clip was poor, but I heard what he said yesterday.
Yeah. Respond.
Well, I'm saying that I have no knowledge of that him created anything. And he never used to come at most of the EPOC meetings, and he used to send Damian Brown to come and represent him. And when he came to meetings, he made no useful contribution. So what he's saying is fallacious. And he became chairman after Ardisha went on nationwide and said that he will find a new chairman for the EPOC, and Biles stepped down and made him chairman. That's why he never got no more EPOC meeting when he became chairman, because he has no great knowledge about those things.
So what he was doing yesterday was just bigging up his chest?
Just to try to big up himself. Yeah, I find it offensive. That is why I never attended any meeting after he became chairman, because he never attended most of the meetings then. And when he attended meetings, he had no useful contribution because the thing was way over his head.
So I took it upon myself to call Dr. Peter Phillips this morning.
Yeah.
And Dr. Peter Phillips basically told me he don't remember nothing about that. In fact, Dr. Peter Phillips told me this morning that it was the trade unions that was insisting that something be put in place. And he mentioned Ellie Davis White name to me.
Yeah, man. And I represented the trade union. So I don't know where Keith Duncan get that from. Yep.
Now, Raleigh, tell us about oil price, the global issues that is taking place right now.
Yeah.
Tell us what is happening on the world market. Where oil price ended this week.
Yeah, stocks stumbled yesterday and crude prices remain elevated and interest rates remained high because there were skirmishes in the Gulf between the Iranian forces and the U.S. forces.
And therefore, not change.
Not change. Incidentally, before I go there, sir, people like Keith Duncan made no contribution to the reduction in the primary surplus. He made no contribution in the discussion in relation to giving public sector workers an increase from the wage freeze. He made very little contribution to EPOC at that time.
Well, I
find it strange that him can come in the Senate now and big up himself like he made any significant contribution.
And they were beating all the benches, Raleigh.
I think you should call Dr. Phillips and ask him what contributions I made. Yep. When them are the 1.5, yeah?
Yes.
And we tell them, say, work it out on the board and tell them, say, it'll cost 32 billion. When the Liberate them wanted to get me off, Keith Duncan and them money never came to my defense. Nobody came to my defense except the IMF people. As Eileen said a few words, but it's most of the IMF people that say, no, that's not going to work. And Governor Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Raleigh, the trade deficit is widening, as you say.
Yeah, man.
What dangers does that spell for Jamaica?
That means that we have to use more of the reserves, because when the trade deficit widens, you have to use the money from remittances and the money from BPO to clear that, and tourism. And those sectors are under serious pressures right now. Jet fuel gone up. Most of the airlines have to cut flights. European airlines cutting flights. American airlines going bankrupt and raising ticket prices and baggage prices, while the people don't have any money to fly. So that's a big problem.
Hold on, caller. Flour price gone up, Raleigh. What does that mean for the average man?
More inflation, less purchasing power for the average man. So it means him have to cut out some of the things them went by. For firms, it means less revenues and less profits. So them so have to start lay off people. And it means more economic recession and depression.
Caller, good morning. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, Colin, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
The thing I want to get into, is not in the financial area, so I don't know if you want to.
Go ahead quickly.
Okay, I don't know if you're aware of that. One of your best friend, she's in intensive care and she's on life support.
Who's
that? Are you aware of that? Education.
Who's that?
Education.
Education?
Yeah.
Who? Oh, education is on life support.
Education sector, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's an intensive care and on life support.
Well, Damian Crawford is trying to get in some doctors, so he has gone taken them to court.
And Yemio Colin, as I speak, she's surrounded by grave diggers, undertaker, tombstone dealer, and tombstone merchant.
Wow.
You know what I said?
Yes.
I will need time to elaborate on it. You know what I mean? I don't think you have enough time because you have answered on. You know what I mean?
All right, call me Monday morning. Call me Monday morning.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Cool.
Okay, cheers. All right, cheers.
1-876-804-7072. That's the number to call. This is the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV. Hello, good morning, caller. Welcome. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Bell. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Ralston Hyman is on the line as well.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hyman.
Morning.
I just want to make a comment. I know that the lady just called, but I was saying too that maybe questions can be asked in the chat room.
Yeah, because
I'm just saying, Colin.
I did take a question from the call room.
Yes.
From the chat room, sorry.
All
I
right.
did take a question from the chat room.
Yeah, I've been listening to you ever since you started. This is my first time calling.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I'm right. I'm not in Jamaica right now, but this is something I wanted to say, that Andrew Holness does not want a fourth term. And I'm just asking you to listen to me while I say this.
Mm-hmm.
This NARA bill is to make this man the richest person probably in the Caribbean. This is his aim from the NARA, to become a multi-billionaire. We have to be very careful. We have to fight this as much as possible. He will become a multi-billionaire from this bill, and he will also enrich his friends and cronies. All those who are supporting him on this bill, we have to be very careful. This is the aim. I really don't believe he wants a fourth term. As a matter of fact, the party itself might not give him a fourth term. But so his aim is to become the wealthiest man in this term.
So
I am going back to listening so I can hear what you guys think of what I just said.
Raleigh, you have any views on what she said? Raleigh?
Yeah, man, right here. Yo.
You have any views on what the caller just said?
Well, I don't know, because I don't think the public of Jamaica should give them a 4th term.
Well, she's saying that maybe the party not going to give him a 4th term, but
I doubt that too.
But the intention is for him to become the wealthiest man in the Caribbean.
Well, I mean, based on what is happening, that's a plausible thing to say, yes. Yep.
Go ahead, Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, based on what he's saying, that is plausible.
Okay.
Raleigh. Morning, Raleigh.
Morning.
I noticed a video is going around that we may have a new senator. There is no vacancy at the moment in the Senate. And I am wondering if maybe we may have the new governor of the Bank of Jamaica from the Senate. That's why we may have a vacancy for a new senator. And
we're not.
Hold on, Neville. Well, I forgot far. The plan right here on the street is that the plan is to make Albin Hill the governor of the Bank of Jamaica. Say, yeah, you have to find a new senator if them all got you with it. That's what we're hearing on the street.
But are we going to accept Albin Hill as the governor of the Bank of Jamaica Rally with all his antecedents?
We can't do nothing about it.
Tolo.
Well,
that's why election have consequences. We can't do nothing about it.
I do have any confidence. I do have any confidence in Albin Hill, in what happened in the Middle East with him. I don't think he would be a good governor.
Tell your party that. Mm-hmm.
But hold on, Neville. Raleigh, hold on, Neville. The appointment of the governor, is it in consultation with the leader of opposition?
No, it's got a cabinet decision.
Oh, so now the opposition they don't need to be in a consultation.
No, and even if them do that, them rather just bypass with the opposition. So them do that over.
Yeah, man, but remember, it's consultation. It's not that the opposition have to agree. Just to say to the opposition that the money I want,
Yep.
Go ahead, Neville.
Finally, Raleigh, the numbers for the second quarter of NCB is out. Break it down for me, the ordinary command on the road, so we can understand good or bad and what it means going forward.
What do that Monday? Because I want to forgot through them fully yet. So Monday, we'll tell you that.
All right, sir.
Monday morning.
We'll go to them all the weekend and tell you.
So, Neville, Monday morning, we're going to do a 7 o'clock show Monday morning. Because we're not doing no show tomorrow. So there'll be no show on Sunday. Monday morning, 7 o'clock, we'll do a show to replace the Sunday show. All right, Neville. Raleigh, somebody was asking this morning. I think Ed Boy came on this morning and he was saying that there is a view that the US, Europe, and Canada to a lesser extent will be running out of gasoline or running out of fuel by July if this continue.
Jet fuel, but basically jet fuel. Jet fuel is the thing.
Oh, jet fuel is the problem.
Yeah, man. That is why the airlines have been cutting flights and raising ticket prices and all of them things. Some of them gone bankrupt like Spirit. So most of the low-cost airlines, them Spirit and JetBlue and all of them airlines have problems. Lufthansa and British Airways and them big airlines, they have to cut flights. That is why tourism will be impacted. And that is why they must use up more of the reserve because they now get the same amount of money from tourism.
So it is not regular gasoline that will be short.
No, jet fuel.
It's jet fuel.
But jet fuel run tourism. So
yes.
A big problem that. Yeah. Jet fuel at $200 a barrel.
But Raleigh,
jet fuel more expensive than regular crude.
That's not normal.
Yep.
If
no, man, the price gone up by almost 100% when the war started. Jet fuel was $80 per barrel.
But if that up now, Raleigh, the world now crash.
You know, that's why I tell you why I think all of the international agencies are telling about the damage to the global economy, man. I don't just waste the money, man, waste time. The money might tell you exactly where it will take place.
And our government says nothing to us.
Yeah, because they are clueless. Yeah.
Let's take a call.
They are clueless. But by the way,
yeah,
when you're done kind of talk about things, when the program starts, I will go over there. Yeah? Well, I think the most important thing in our program is what we call the fiscal multiplier, because you're talking about cutting government spending. The fiscal multiplier is a formula will tell you how much a cut in government spending would affect the economy. Yeah?
Yeah.
When we go over there, you're done kind of talk about. I just I'm first I know about them things. I don't even think you know about it properly right now. And when we ask the man and say, yo, what the fiscal multiplier that's no use to calculate the program? Every man start look on the next man. You get what I said to you?
Yeah.
When we said to the IMF chief, Jans Keys Martin, say, yo, you know why I answer that? Professor Blanchard said the IMF miscalculated the fiscal multiplier and mash up Greece. Them time the Greece was under pressure. Yeah?
So
and
that
Blanchard was the...
Hold on. So
yeah,
this was when the GLP came in power in 2016?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, no, when in 2012, when we start back the IMF program, that was May of 2013.
Okay.
So at the same month, like now, May of 2013.
Yes.
Because that's the most important thing in our program. If you get that wrong, you'll destroy the place. Yeah. So, a full system attack, you never make no useful contribution. And we have to go back, I have to go and calculate the fiscal multiplier and bring it back to them because none of them thought of that. Yeah? Them kind of Blanchard was the chief economist at the IMF, Olivier Blanchard, yeah? And me I tell him, say, oh, because we hear Blanchard say that the IMF miscalculated in Greece and damaged Greece. Sometimes Greece under enough pressure, yeah? Yeah.
Him
So,
say
what about-
him write the epoch definition or what? Yeah, him write it, him guy him office and overnight them write it.
Well, I'm glad I talked to Dr. Phillips and him tell you exactly what take place.
Dr.
Because me I
Phillips
tell
said
you,
it was the financial secretary who wrote it.
Of course, the brand Devon Rowe. That's the point I'm making.
Devon
Don't come
Rowe.
I don't know about IMF. He
Devon-
don't come and sit down. You know, hear me I tell you, the fiscal model, even me, Devon look for me and say, you go calculate the fiscal multiplier and bring come at the next meeting. Yeah.
Let's go to
That's why I big up themselves, man.
let's go to the
Garbage.
caller. Caller
Garbage.
morning, welcome.
Thank you for having me and taking my call. Good morning, Uncle Ralston.
Morning.
Colin,
Yes, Auntie.
this morning when I sit down and I hear this lady just call, said Andrew Onis don't want a voter. Him and all of them where you see there, even the same Keith Duncan when nose grow one foot more than the Andrew Onis, because now see it not even say we are going to go back. Everyone that is in nothing like that, from Uncle Ralston to Dr. Phillips, say, what am I talking about? They're not dead yet. We have raw evidence, factual rebuttal.
But that's when you
So,
know these people are
when the lady
dangerous, you
say-
know. You talk these things and you know that that's when you know these people are dangerous. Because you come out and make the statement and you know that people are alive who know the truth.
The man only come in the
Exactly.
meeting, me I tell you, Colin, when you used to say that little youth named Damian Brown, when no one know him head for him foot to come represent him at such an important meeting.
Oh boy.
You see the characteristics of who in round this man. With the lady is right. Me say it last night. Me not lie. If you tell you, me did the hot topic and me talking and me no way come out. Me say me did the attack and me say, but when me look funny, are the people them in count, you know, remember, you know, the World Bank woman come at the assessor, you know, come and assess the third of the damage when Melissa doing for this money, you know. Remember, so this money isn't for, so if we need, I know Melissa, would we have an Ara?
No,
So the
without
Melissa,
there
the
would be no
people, them,
Nara.
Me not hear what you say, Colin.
Oh, no, Raleigh was talking. Where's the Raleigh?
Without Melissa, there would be no Nara.
So
There you go, Uncle Ralston. So when me a look on it, make we wait in the scale then. Rah today. This man put in Nara with an unfettered power. No put in a it. He said there's checks and balances, this man. You know, she said the whole of them was sit down there is waiting for take away all of this money. And then left it on the people them to pay back. Because remember, you know, they know say Jamaican people resilient, you know. the whole world sake, you know.
Yeah, hold on. Just a bit. When them I tell the people them resilient for me to them means that the people them long suffering. And that they mean when them I talk about resilient, the people them can take suffering. Yeah,
takes whole suffering.
Yeah.
Yes, Uncle Ralston, we go talk this morning.
Yep. That them I talk about. Them people can bear suffering and bear hardships without any reaction. And that they mean when them say resilient.
Oh.
Tell her.
Mistake, you know, Colin, you know.
Yes.
Me say, me talk here, me I go say it again. When man a plan, God have a bigger plan. Because me no see them I go there's if this man I say I go build this. People in a Peterfield, just that small sector of example for how much months now, and they say them I go give them one place after the disgrace come out again. And the Jamaica Teachers Association lick out say no more of it. Look upon where them I put them. Look upon where them I put them, Colin.
Dewey and Voss
Are they leave yet?
No, they leave yesterday, but the people them have to leave themselves, go over the old teacher's cottage. The people them had to get power wash machine and wash down the place themselves, clean out the place themselves. When the people them done clean up, that was when the fire truck come for help.
Then that is Uncle Ralston, just like what you say, Uncle Ralston. We see it right there in our evidence. Jamaican people, they know we, Colin, they know we bloodline. They know we. Then prove it over 500 years.
Yeah, man.
All right, caller, give her thanks. We'll talk Monday morning. We'll talk, not tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right. Yeah, man. Me come on. Me listen.
Raleigh.
Yeah,
tell me something.
Yeah, man.
The damage that the PIOJ say is 12 billion Jamaican dollars, right? The government have access to, I am saying, 3.2 billion
US dollars.
How the hell 3.2 billion US dollars when recover and build better when the damage is $12 billion? How that work? Tell me.
No. Well, that can't do it. So that will only do part of the work. Yeah, so that can't do
it. So all this bragging and hyping and whatever, not even 50% of the money we don't have.
Precisely, but even that, them still not access most of the money. Most of the money is still available and not accessed. But must say only $250 billion them a borrow this year, you know.
Yeah.
Jamaican dollars. Yeah. So although that money is available, they still haven't access the money.
Obi upon the line. Obi.
Hi, morning again, Colin.
Yeah.
Raleigh, what go on?
Yeah, man.
Raleigh, I'm making a quick intervention here. Raleigh, you were an original member of EPAC. You were there. And based on what Colin said, after he spoke to Dr. Phillips this morning, are you saying to us that Keith Duncan lied to the people of Jamaica in the upper chamber right here in Jamaica, Colin, Raleigh? And our knowledge is that when you blatant...
There must, because Colin asked Dr. Phillips too. I mean, Devon Rowe was the financial secretary. Keith Duncan not in any negotiations with the IMF. So Devon Rowe, the financial secretary, he would have been the front man in terms of the discussion with the IMF along with the minister. Yeah? So as Dr. Phillips tell Colin, it would have been the Devon Rowe. Additionally,
he said the financial secretary, and he said Devon. He said, I'm not remembering his last name right now, Colin, but Devon.
I tell you how Devon Rowe called me the
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so when you said Devon Rowe, I said, okay, fine, that is the man.
Yeah. So Devon would have been the man that did that work, and I said the evening when we got a meeting in terms of the most vital part of the agreement, which we call the fiscal multiplier. Yeah?
Indeed.
When we asked them, the man them, so them never thought of it, and Devon said, me must go and write it and bring it back come at the next meeting. because nobody starts up that. And then we look on the IMF man them and say, the reason why I'm asking that is because Professor Blanchard, and then can go type of Professor Blanchard, Olivier Blanchard, yeah, was the chief economist at the IMF at that particular point in time. The chief economist or the chief technical man, the managing director of the IMF, listen to what the chief economist said. Yeah, and him said they miscalculate the fiscal multiplier and mash up Greece. And that is why it is important that we get the fiscal multiplier right. The fiscal multiplier measures the impact of a change in government spending on the overall economy. Yeah? When the meeting them start, Keith Duncan hardly come out of the meeting, them send a little youth named Damian Brown come represent him. Yeah? Keith Duncan became chairman after them do the 1.5 tax insurance policies and Biles. They was upset about it. All the sham upon nationwide and say, I find a new EPOC chairman time and Biles could agree. And that is how Keith Duncan become the chairman of EPOC. From that, I stop going to meet because I'm read Keith Duncan as no economist for chairman of EPOC. Simple.
Absolutely, Raleigh. Raleigh, know that, you know, this Peter Phillips is still alive. You're very much there. David, everybody. And we see that this man lied to the Jamaican people blatantly. Shouldn't Keith Duncan resign from the Senate?
Yeah, but we don't say that now, man. So that's how we say that.
But why we understand that? Why we understand that?
Hold on, gentlemen. We're upon two different lines. So once both of you are talking, the people will not hear anything. Go ahead, Obi.
Okay. Let me frame it a different way. Wouldn't something like this rally reach the threshold for Duncan to resign in blatantly lying to the Jamaican people as he did yesterday to make a cheap political point?
Go ahead, Raleigh.
Or to pick up his own chest.
Yeah, but I'm just being practical and saying we know so that never happen because them not have no shame on them thing there. And the Jamaican people not really support them thing there. Jamaican people long suffering and them not believe in accountability. Them just take whatever they get, which is a remnant of slavery. So we know say never happen because them tell liar parliament over and over and not come out of it.
Hold on, gentlemen.
And I like so they are England and them places. So we know say not never.
Hold on.
Consensus body that I advocated for and worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips, and I will tell you how this happened, Ramon, because you need to know the facts, my brethren. Okay? We and Ramon and Senator Ferguson, Small Ferguson and I, Senator Small Ferguson and I work very closely together. Right now. But he was their own because he was their own at the time. And I myself and
Hold on, Raleigh.
Sat down with Dr. Peter Phillips and I said to Dr. Phillips, we are not signing that debt exchange agreement unless we get an oversight body. That is how EPOC came about. Okay? And I worked closely with Dr. Peter Phillips. We agreed on who would sit on this body. Dr. Peter Phillips, we agreed on the unions, we agreed on agriculture, we agreed on small business, we agreed on the financial sector, we agreed on that's agriculture and small business, the unions. We agreed that would be the representation on EPOC, Dr. Peter Phillips and I. I went to my office and I wrote the terms of reference with Mike Hilton and Mark Harrison, and EPOC was signed off the following morning.
That is it. Him say him go in office and write the terms of reference for EPOC, and it was signed off on the next morning. He wrote the terms of reference, Raleigh.
Yeah, but I'm saying you spoke to Dr. Phillips, Peter Phillips, and him told you how it goes.
Yeah, man. It was written by
terms of reference without Devon Rowe, who is the financial secretary. Rubbish.
Obi, wrap up.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, this is something, and maybe he wasn't aware that, you know, he would be fact check and all of these things will come out. But it certainly doesn't look good because here Raleigh and Dr. Phillips and, you know, others are there.
This is not the first time he did that, you know. He came on nationwide and told the country already that remittances are earnings. In balance of payments equations, remittances are not earnings, remittances are transferred. And told the country that Jamaica had surpluses and them never have to borrow again. He
said, somebody said something yesterday. I don't remember if it was him who said that we went through COVID and we never had to borrow. I'll check that. I'll double check that if you do. But one of them said,
a different occasion when he went on nationwide and said that we had a current account surplus, yeah, and we don't have to borrow from the body, and he had remittances as earnings. No, remittances are not earnings; they are transferred. Yeah, so another person, Madam.
What were you saying, Obi?
Yeah, I'll just close out by saying that from day one, me have Keith Duncan as a lightweight. God bless you.
Bless up.
Cool. Yeah, man, not a credibility. Yeah, man.
All right. Man say Keith a lightweight. Or lightweight. Is lightweight or lightweight?
Both of them. Not a credibility.
Marshy, you had the final caller this morning.
I never did get to finish my talk with you this morning.
Yeah, because Angela came on.
Yes. But you, as Ralston saying, you know, right throughout the epoch, we never hear the name
Keith Duncan.
We never hear the name this Keith Duncan. We never hear the name they call him. Me hear like Richard Biles, Ralston Hyman, Helen Davis White, and some other few. But me never hear the name Keith Duncan. Now, I want to see Patricia Duncan and tell her that them have some repair figure do at the tomb of their father.
They say
because
it must bust up your now.
Yes, this man is too dangerous. And a long time ago, when people see JLP, they used to say Jamaica Liar Party. Now I get to understand why. Because this man, Charles Sinclair, must be called out. And this rubbish where them have in a parliament say you mustn't say lie. God only speak about truth and lie.
Yeah, man.
He never used the word misleading. He never used the word untruth. God talk about truth and lie. And Charles Sinclair, you are a liar, Charles Sinclair. You guys, the JLP have nothing to, the only thing the JLP have to do with the Constant Spring. The widening of Constant Spring Road from down Agri Park, come to the flyover at Portlandspice to Miller Square. They only come there and finish the project. Because the PNP start, they purchase, they place them and everything, and they lose the election. And the JLP come and finish the program. Congratulations, they finish it. But they have nothing to do when this man coming to talk about flyover and the PNP, they disagree. And the PNP plan the whole thing. Charles Sinclair, you just too lie, Charles Sinclair. You need to do better than that, Charles Sinclair. Stop fooling the Jamaican people. You are a liar.
All right, Marshy.
Stop it, man.
All right.
God, man.
Respect. Raleigh, anything you want to say finally as we wrap up the program this morning?
Well, as I said, for Keith Duncan come and claim, like say him and Dr. Phillips create the economic program oversight committee to big up himself. I'm saying that is totally fallacious. People like Devon Rowe, the greatest financial secretary, people like me, people like Biles played a greater role than him. I never used to come on a meeting more than so. And when him come on meeting, he never contributed anything that was make any technical sense. And then after Biles left EPOC and him become the chairman, EPOC just water down and become a PR for the government.
All
and
right.
you can ask the general public. If you do a poll right now about that, I thought the public could have tell you. Yeah.
All right, Raleigh. We talk Monday morning.
Yeah, I agree with the Obi said. Keith Duncan is a lightweight.
And a lightweight.
Featherweight. Featherweight.
Bless up.
Intellectual featherweight, yeah.
All right, respect. Ralston Hyman. Junior will make your close out. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, Brutus is pathologically mendacious, you know.
Brutus.
Yeah, Brutus. We don't call him Keith, we call him Brutus. Because you can't tell me, say, he was DK Duncan's son, and him have the nerve to stand up and talk or him talk. Anyway, him not so important. We don't want to waste time with him. Come on, non-entity. The government is taking but the case in appeal. You can imagine?
The Bengal case, they have appealed. They said that they are going to appeal.
So the people of Jamaica pay the wife, pay the husband, and pay $380. Are we still have we paid the legal fee?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Junior.
Colin.
Yes,
Colin.
sir. Yes, sir.
You know, say the people of Jamaica need to realize exactly how devious and sinister Andrew says. You can imagine the court tell him say this thing no right. Right?
Yes.
And the man would him the shame and take, cool out. The man get up now and take our money to go appeal the case. Right?
Well, you see,
you understand something?
Until the people of Jamaica rise up and start understand themselves, these things will continue to happen. The government will run roughshod over us. Yeah, man.
Before me go there, Colin,
Yeah.
in the election, right? And you know what's going around the island and build one house.
Yes. I make a big
So
something out
open-
I figure with the one house.
And make a big thing, carry out CNN and Fox News to show them a build one house.
Yeah, man.
And the hurricane come and mash up all that western or half of Jamaica. And Andrew is doing build one house and he get free money.
Oh boy.
Something right.
Something right. Yeah, man.
But Bobby Montague, they tell us, Bobby Montague tell us clearly and categorically that the Naira bill was made to benefit people who are in real estate.
Yeah, man, I found it,
And they tell me. You
I
find it?
found I think it was an Observer or Star, I found a newspaper article with it.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I found it.
Good.
All right, Junior, I could talk Monday morning.
Monday.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
cool,
Blessings.
cool.
Yes, my listeners and my viewers, my subscribers, if you have not yet subscribed to Portland Spice TV, we invite you to subscribe, share, and like the channel. Become a Portland Spice ambassador by telling people about this channel where the best discussion about governance in Jamaica is taking place. Mondays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, 5 p.m. in the evening, Saturdays and Sundays, 9 a.m. And next week, because we're not going to be having our Sunday show tomorrow, we'll be doing it 7 o'clock Monday morning, right here on Portland Spice TV. Click the thumbs up for me before you leave, everybody. Touch the thumbs up. Once again, we invite you to become a Portland Spice ambassador as we build this channel for the benefit of Jamaica to give information, credible information to the people. Speak the truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on this channel here, Portland Spice TV. Say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Yeah, man, mothers, you are savior of a life. And as I tell you, when it comes to mothers, there's a special place in my heart because my mother grew me. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Mary Arters. Big up yourself. Happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers in my life. Every other mother in my life. Big up on yourself. And a whole heap of mothers in my life, Whole heap. Morning to the producer. Happy Mother's Day to the producer. Yeah, man. Big up on yourself. Everybody, do something for the mothers them tomorrow. All right? One love.